Don't come to the birthday party. The text message sat on my phone screen like a slap across the face. Don't come to the birthday party. 5 words from my younger sister Emma, 5 words that made my stomach drop. I read it again, sitting in my office chair. The morning sun streaming through the blinds. My coffee had gone cold an hour ago. The cursor on my computer blinked, waiting for me to finish the quarterly report I'd been staring at for the past 30 minutes, but I couldn't focus. Not now. My daughter Lily's 8th birthday was this Saturday. Emma had volunteered to host it at her house. The big backyard, the pool, plenty of space for kids to run around. I'd been looking forward to it for weeks. Lily had been talking about nothing else, and now this don't come to the birthday party. No explanation, no context, just those 5 cold words. I set the phone down and rubbed my face. My hands were shaking slightly. The office suddenly felt too small, the air too thick. What the hell was going on? Let me back up a bit. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 42 years old, married to my wife Sarah for 12 years, and we have 2 kids, Lily, who's about to turn 8, and Jake, who's 5. I work as a financial analyst at a mid-sized firm downtown. Nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills and keeps the lights on. My relationship with my younger sister Emma had always been complicated. She's 36, never married, no kids. She works in marketing for some startup that I've never fully understood. We grew up close, 2 years apart, shared bedrooms when we were young, fought over the TV remote. All that typical sibling stuff, but somewhere along the way, things changed. It started small comments here and there about my traditional life choices, how I'd settled for suburban mediocrity, how Sarah was just a stay-at-home mom with no real ambitions. Brush it off. Emma had always been opinionated, always a little edgy. That was just her personality, but over the years, the comments became sharper, more frequent, and always directed at Sarah. Sarah, to her credit, never said much about it. She'd smile politely when Emma made her little dig. She'd change the subject when Emma started talking about empowered women and breaking free from patriarchal expectations. But I could see it in her eyes. The hurt, the confusion. Sarah was one of the strongest people I knew. She'd given up her career in nursing to stay home with the kids, a decision we'd made together. She ran our household like a CEO, managed our finances, volunteered at the kids' school, and still found time to take night classes in graphic design because she loved learning. But to Emma, she was just the little housewife. I'd defended Sarah countless times. I'd had heated arguments with Emma about respect and boundaries, but nothing seemed to stick. And now this text message. I tried calling Emma straight to voicemail. I texted back, "What do you mean don't come? It's Lily's party. What's going on?" No response. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling a knot form in my chest. The office phone rang. I ignored it. My mind was racing. Had something happened? Was Emma sick? Was there a problem with the party venue? Or was this something else? I thought about Sarah. She'd been quiet lately, more withdrawn. I'd noticed it over the past few weeks. But I'd chalked it up to stress. The kids had been demanding, and she'd been dealing with some family drama on her side. But what if it was more than that? What if Emma had said something to her? I grabbed my phone and called Sarah. She picked up on the 3rd ring. "Hey, honey," she said, her voice soft but strained. "What's up?" "I just got a weird text from Emma," I said, keeping my tone casual. "Did she say anything to you about the party?" There was a pause, too long of a pause. "Sarah?" She called me yesterday," Sarah said quietly. "We talked." My heart sank. "What did she say?" Another pause. "Maybe we should talk about this when you get home." "Sarah, what did she say?" I heard her take a deep breath on the other end. "She said I wasn't welcome at the party either. Left work early. I didn't care about the report. Didn't care about the meeting I was supposed to attend at 3. I grabbed my jacket, told my assistant I had a family emergency, and drove home in a daze the whole drive. My mind was spinning. Emma had uninvited both of us to our own daughter's birthday party. What kind of person does that? I pulled into the driveway and saw Sarah's car. The house looked normal, toys scattered on the front lawn, the garden hose coiled by the garage, everything in its place. But nothing felt right. I walked in through the front door. The smell of cookies baking hit me immediately. Sarah was in the kitchen, Wearing an apron, pulling a tray out of the oven, she looked up when she heard me come in. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. "Sarah, I'm okay," she said quickly, setting the tray down and wiping her hands on the apron. "Really, I'm fine," but she wasn't fine. I could see it in the way her hands trembled. The way she avoided looking directly at me, walked over and gently took her hands in mine. "Talk to me, what happened?" She bit her lip, fighting back tears. "Emma called yesterday afternoon," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "She said she needed to talk to me about the party." "Okay," she said. Sarah's voice cracked. "She said that she couldn't have us there because I was a bad influence on Lily." The words hit me like a freight train. She said what? She said that by being a stay-at-home mom, I was teaching Lily that women don't need careers or ambitions, that I was perpetuating outdated gender roles. She said she couldn't, in good conscience, let Lily celebrate her birthday around someone who represented everything wrong with modern motherhood. I felt my blood pressure spike. "She said that to you?" Sarah nodded, tears streaming down her face now, and then she said that you enabled it, that you were just as much to blame for trapping me in a domestic prison. She said she'd host the party for Lily because she loves her niece, but that neither of us could be there. I couldn't breathe. My own sister, the woman I defended, supported, loved my entire life, said these things to my wife. "Sarah, I told her she was wrong," Sarah interrupted, her voice stronger now. "I told her that I chose this life, that I'm happy, that I'm not trapped or oppressed, or whatever she thinks, but she wouldn't listen. She just kept saying I was brainwashed, and that she was doing this for Lily's sake." I pulled Sarah into my arms and held her tight. "I'm so sorry," I whispered. "I'm so sorry." She sobbed into my chest, and I made a decision right then and there. Emma had crossed a line, and there was no going back. That night, after the kids were asleep, I sat down and wrote an email to Emma. I didn't want to text. I didn't want to call. I needed to say everything clearly, calmly, and without the heat of the moment clouding my judgment. "Emma, I received your text this morning, and Sarah told me about your phone call yesterday. I've spent the entire day trying to process what you said to my wife, the mother of my children, the woman I love, and I honestly can't believe it. You have every right to your opinions about gender roles, careers, and family dynamics, but you do not have the right to insult, demean, or attack Sarah for the choices we've made together. You don't get to call her a bad influence on our daughter. You don't get to tell her she's oppressed or brainwashed. Sarah is one of the strongest, most intelligent, most capable people I've ever known. She chose to stay home with our kids, and she's damn good at it. She manages our household, raises 2 incredible children, and still pursues her own passions and education. She is not a victim. She is not a cautionary tale. She is a partner, a mother, and a human being who deserves your respect. Shove made it clear that you don't want us at Lily's party. Fine, but understand this. If you go through with hosting this party without her parents present, you're not protecting Lily from anything. You're hurting her. You're confusing her. You're teaching her that family doesn't matter. When ideology gets in the way, I won't let you do that to my daughter, so here's what's going to happen. We're canceling the party at your house, Sarah, and I will host it here at our home with our friends and family who actually respect us. You're still invited. Emma, you're still Lily's aunt, but you need to apologize to Sarah. Not a half-hearted, sorry you felt that way. Apology, a real one. Until that happens, I need some space from you. I love you, but I love my wife and kids more. Daniel. I hit send before I could second-guess myself then. I closed my laptop and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from Emma and a text that said, "We need to talk now." I ignored it, Sarah, and I spent the morning planning Lily's party at our house. We called the parents of her friends, explained there'd been a venue change, and got to work decorating the backyard. Sarah ordered a new cake. I rented a bounce house. The kids were over the moon by afternoon. Things were starting to feel normal again. Then Emma showed up. I was in my home office, finishing up some work emails. When I heard the doorbell ring, Sarah answered it, and then I heard Emma's voice. "I need to talk to Daniel." "Emma, now's not a good time. I'm not leaving until I talk to him." I sighed and walked to the front door. Emma stood on the porch, arms crossed, eyes blazing. She was dressed in her usual style, dark jeans, leather jacket, designer sunglasses perched on her head. Emma, I said evenly, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? What are you doing? Did you seriously cancel Lily's party at my house? Yes, I did, without even talking to me. You uninvited us to our own daughter's birthday, Emma. What did you expect? She scoffed. I was trying to help by insulting my wife? By calling her a bad influence? I didn't insult her. I told her the truth. No, I cut her off. My voice hard. You attacked her. You belittled her. You made her feel like garbage for making a choice that you don't agree with. Emma's jaw tightened. Someone needs to stand up for women who've been conditioned to think their only value is in serving men. Sarah doesn't serve me. I snapped. We're partners. We made a decision together. You don't get to rewrite our lives to fit your narrative. Emma glared at me. You're so blind. Daniel, you can't see that you've trapped her. Get out, she blinked. What? Get out of my house? Emma stared at me, stunned. You're really going to choose her over me? I felt something snap inside me. There's no choice. Emma, there never was. Sarah is my wife, the mother of my children. You're my sister. And I love you, but I will always choose her every single time. Emma's face went red. Fine, she hissed. Have fun with your little Stepford wife. She turned and stormed off the porch. I watched her get into her car and peel out of the driveway, and I didn't feel guilty. I felt relieved. Saturday came, and Lily's party was perfect. The backyard was filled with laughing kids. The bounce house was a huge hit, and the cake was delicious. Sarah spent the whole day smiling, taking photos, and making sure every child felt special. Lily hugged us both and said it was the best birthday ever. Emma didn't show up. I didn't expect her till a week later. I got a text from my mom. Your sister told me what happened. We need to talk. My stomach sank. I called her immediately. Mom, before you say anything, I'm not here to lecture you, she said gently. I just want to understand what's going on. I failed, and I told her everything. The text, the phone call to Sarah, the things Emma had said. The email I'd sent my mom was quiet for a long time. Daniel, she finally said, I love your sister, but she was wrong. I felt a wave of relief. I've watched Sarah for 12 years, my mom continued. I've seen how hard she works, how much she loves you, and those kids. Emma has no right to judge her like that. Thank you, Mom, but you need to know something, she said, her tone shifting. Emma has always struggled with your relationship. What do you mean? My mom sighed. She's always felt left behind. You got married young, had kids, built this stable life. Emma's career-focused, independent, and she's proud of that, but I think part of her feels like she's failed because she doesn't have what you have. And instead of dealing with those feelings, she projects them onto Sarah. I hadn't thought about it that way. That doesn't excuse what she said. I replied, no, it doesn't, but it might explain it. I sat with that for a moment. What do I do now? You give her time, my mom said, and you protect your family. That's all you can do. 2 months passed. Lily asked about Aunt Emma a few times. I told her that Aunt Emma's busy with work, but that she loved her very much. I didn't lie. But I didn't tell her the whole truth either. Sarah seemed lighter, happier. The weight of Emma's judgment had been lifted, and she was thriving. And then, one Wednesday afternoon, I was in my office at work when my assistant knocked on the door. Mr. Carter, you have visitors. I don't have any appointments scheduled. The door opened, and Emma walked in, followed by Sarah. I stood up immediately, confused. Sarah? Emma? Sit down, Daniel, Sarah said gently. I sat. Emma looked uncomfortable. Her usual confidence was gone. She stood there, hands clasped in front of her, eyes red. Sarah stood beside her, calm and composed. Emma has something she wants to say, Sarah said softly. Emma took a shaky breath. I'm sorry. I blinked. I'm sorry, she repeated, her voice cracking. I'm sorry for what I said to Sarah. I'm sorry for what I said about you. I'm sorry for hurting your family. Tears started streaming down her face. I was wrong about everything. I looked at Sarah, who gave me a small nod. Emma came to the house this morning, Sarah explained. We really talked for hours. Emma wiped her eyes. I've been in therapy, she said quietly, after everything happened. Mom suggested I talk to someone, and my therapist helped me realize that I've been projecting my own insecurities onto you. Guys, I've been so focused on proving that my life choices are valid, that I've been tearing down everyone else's. She looked at Sarah. You didn't deserve that. You're an amazing mom, an amazing person. And I was cruel to you because I was jealous. Sarah reached out and gently squeezed Emma's hand. I forgive you. Sarah said simply. Emma sobbed, and I felt my own eyes start to water. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, Emma said, looking at me now, but I want to try. I want to be part of this family again. I want to be the aunt that Lily and Jake deserve. I stood up and walked around the desk, and I hugged my sister. I forgive you too, I whispered. She clung to me and cried. It didn't fix everything overnight. Rebuilding trust takes time, but Emma started showing up to family dinners, to the kids' soccer games. She even apologized to Lily for missing her birthday, and threw her a belated party at the park. She and Sarah started meeting for coffee once a week. They talked about life, about dreams, about the pressures they both felt as women navigating a complicated world, and slowly, the distance between us closed. A year later, Emma called me on a Saturday morning. Hey, big brother, she said, her voice light. I have news. Good news, I hope? I met someone. I grinned. Tell me everything, she laughed. His name is Marcus. He's a teacher. We've been dating for a few months, and I think he might be the one. That's amazing. Emma, yeah, she said softly, and I wanted to say thank you. For what? For not giving up on me, for setting boundaries, for showing me what real love and respect look like. I felt a lump form in my throat. You're my sister, I said. I'll always fight for you, even when that means fighting with you. She laughed through tears. I love you. Daniel, I love you too, Emma. Looking back now, I realize something important. Boundaries aren't wallflower bridges to respect. When Emma crossed the line, I didn't cut her out of my life forever. I set a boundary. I made it clear what was acceptable and what wasn't, and I gave her the space to either respect that boundary or walk away. She chose to respect it, and that made all the difference. Family is complicated, love is messy, but at the end of the day, we all just want to be seen, heard, and valued. Sarah taught me that. She showed me that strength isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about standing firm in who you are, even when others try to tear you down. And Emma taught me that people can change, that grace and accountability can coexist, that sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones hurting the most themselves today. Lily is 9 years old. Jake is 6. Sarah just launched her own graphic design business from home. And Emma is engaged to Marcus. We're all imperfect. We're all still learning, but we're family, and that's worth fighting for. If you enjoyed my story, thank you for listening. Sometimes the hardest battles we face aren't with strangers. They're with the people we love most. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: you can love someone and still demand respect. You can set boundaries and still keep the door open, and you can forgive without forgetting, because real love isn't about never making mistakes. It's about choosing to grow from them together.